Hi, I'm Fire. And over the summer, I had a lot of free time and a lot of games to play, so my friend Jack and I came up with a bunch of challenges to make those playthroughs more interesting. One game, or I guess some games, I'd been really interested in playing over the summer were the Hitman games, specifically the World of Assassination Trilogy available through Game Pass. But since I had already played the first Hitman a while ago, I wanted to do something more interesting than just getting straightforward kills. That's when Jack suggested that I go with accident kills only. Accident kills, by definition, are murders that could plausibly look like an accident, typically involving environmental factors or presumed negligence on the victim's part. Though some of Hitman's definitions of what do and don't count as accident kills are super BS. Still, knowing how diverse Hitman's levels and murder opportunities were, I had little doubt in my ability to pull it off. And thus, I set forth to become the greatest accidental assassin the world had ever known. Starting off in Hitman 1, the game mistook me for a noob and threw me into some training missions. Rude, but a mission is a mission and a target is a target. Starting off on the second most sinkable cruise ship, I infiltrated the party and made my way to the upper decks, grabbing a crowbar along the way. Then I tucked a little piggy in for bed, headed over to this mounting, and made short work of Calvin Ritter. Plus some other people. Whoops. Sorry, rich kids. Accidents don't care about collateral damage. Still in training, I pulled off the classic put on a high-vis vest and pretend you know what you're doing prank. Only what I was doing was murder. I sabotaged the jet controls, had Jasper Knight press an ejector seat, I pinky promised I turned off, and... Look, a shooting star! Make a wish! Now graduated from baby school and onto the big leagues, I made my way to Paris. Knowing this level pretty well from my first playthrough, my goal was to kill both of the next targets with chandeliers. After some trial and error, I pulled this off with a suppressed pistol and just the right positioning, taking out Dahlia Margolis and some more innocent bystanders. Oops, it was an accident. However, when I went to drop the big stage chandelier on Viktor Novikov, I ran into some glitch that prevented Viktor from ever walking into the right spot on stage. Damn you, PC. So instead I opted to drop the bass. This boombox on him instead. Oh well, I suppose the innocent bystanders get to live another day. In Sapienza, I baited a grieving Silvio Caruso to the edge of a cliff with a well-tossed coin and pushed him, honestly, only like a foot over the cliff. Literally, like you can still see his feet right here. Apparently it was enough to kill him though, so good enough for me. Making my way over to Francesca de Santos, I opened a live wire on a power strip with a screwdriver. Then I waited for her to get in a position, turned on a hose, and ooh, ouch. Shocking how important electrical safety is, huh? Moving over to Marrakesh, I got to execute by far my favorite falling object-based accident kill. Disguising myself as a reporter, I made my way to Klaus Strandberg's interview, released this winch, and dropped a giant moose on top of him. Why there's a giant moose in a government building, and who thought it'd be a good idea to suspend the giant moose there? I don't know, but I love you. Sneaking my way over to the occupied classrooms, I threw on my school uniform and snuck my way through the hallways. Then I caught Reza Zidane distracted and, hey young man, no using phones during school hours. Go to detention. Over in Bangkok, I got to pull off my first explosion-based accident kill. After convincing Ken Morgan he just had to check out this tuk-tuk, I used a screwdriver to puncture a nearby gas drum. Not noticing the leak, he started up the vehicle, and it was only a matter of time before... Later, bitch. Making my way upstairs, I found hipster Jordan Cross, who also had an interest in vintage tech. Once he entered the recording booth with an old-fashioned stage mic, I boosted the signal. Sound check! What? I can't hear you. You say you're dying? Cut, run it back, do it again. In a Colorado military compound, I took on a group of baddies for a bunch of weird accidents. The first one I couldn't get any good footage of, but essentially I laced some drugs with explosives that activated as soon as Sean Rose touched them. Damn it, Sean, did the DARE program mean nothing to you? Maya Parvati managed to stay off the drugs, but didn't watch where she walked, and after a few lineup attempts, I managed to hit her with some falling hay. After tempting Penelope Graves with the idea of betraying her fellow soldiers, I pulled an Uno reverse card and betrayed her first, basically by pushing her into this, I want to say tar pit? Whatever it is, it looks pretty survivable, but I guess I'm just built different. Finally, Ezra Berg also flunked out of the DARE program, so I took it on myself to teach him the same lesson I taught Sean. Loosening a valve on the gas container, I waited until Ezra entered the shed to begin messing around with his chemistry set. The second he lit the fuse, he was done for. What did I say, kids? Drugs kill. Making my way to Hokkaido, I did more off-camera setup on Yuki Yamazaki's hotel balcony, where I loosened the valve on her heat lamp to produce some ambient gas. Nearly 10 minutes later, when she stepped outside for a smoke, I was greeted with this fun little death cam. Disguising myself as Agent 47's worst enemy, a man with a full head of hair, I infiltrated the medical section of the Hokkaido facility. There, I tempered with the Operation Robot controls and let Skynet play whack-a-mole with an unconscious Eric Soders. That'll be 50 million yen for the procedure. Thank you very much. Still in Hitman 1, I took the time to do a few bonus missions revisiting areas from the main campaign. Back in Sapienza, I adjusted the firepower on this robot to cook Dino Bosco alive. I hear his career is on fire now. Making my way down to the beach, I partially drained the onstage aquarium at Marco Abbiati's public address. Then I waited until he took the stage, activated the pedal board, and zap. I heard his policies were shocking, but this is a little much even for me. Okay, I'm sorry, I'll stop. Back in Marrakesh, I slept some enemetic poison into Kong Tuao Kwang's hookah pipe, prompting a quick trip to the bathroom. There he, accidentally drowned in the toilet? So in Hitman, apparently all drownings count as accidents, despite how very, very obvious a murder this is. So if you see any more toilet kills in this video and you're like, that's not an accident, just know, I agree, but we'll roll with it. On the rooftops, I distracted a guard in order to get another fall-based accident kill on Matthew Mendola. Nothing fun or fancy here, but what could I say? I was impatient to move on to the next game. Moving on to Hitman 2, this time I was able to jump right into the action in Hawke's Bay, where my target, Alma Reynard, was just getting home from a social call. Weaving in between her guards' lines of sights, I poisoned her drink, then retreated to the second floor. After waiting almost 5 real-time minutes for her to finish a phone call, she sprung the trap and wobbled over to the nearest bathroom. Then I snuck in behind her and watched that mean toilet viciously murder that poor woman. What a terrible and totally normal accident. In Miami, I infiltrated Sierra Knox's pit crew and got to work on her tire when she pulled in for a stop. Then when she drove away, oh no, how could this happen? Making my way over to the showroom, her father Robert Knox didn't even notice his daughter was dead. But the moment someone touched his precious hot rod, he came running. Fucking selfish prick. Using his love against him, I sabotaged his car's engine with turbo boosters, so when he started routine maintenance, boom, dead. How I didn't get implicated in this murder, who knows, but whatever. In Santa Fortuna, I loosened the supports on the statue of Rico Delgado while disguised as military. Swapping over to my mariachi outfit, I joined the crowd for the ceremony. Then at the grand unveiling, poetic justice was served as Rico was crushed by his own statue. Unfortunate that I couldn't catch Andrea in the collapse as well, but her time will come shortly. Disguising myself as a local shaman, I cleansed her construction site of evil spirits. Little did she know that I was the evil spirit at the site. Distracting some guards, I made my way over to the crane controls and dropped a shipping crate right on top of her. Sneaking deeper into the jungle, I infiltrated George Franco's drug facility, where I fixed his machine and inspired him to take a moment alone with it. Then I helped him, accidentally fall in. I know this one isn't much of an accident, but I couldn't find another way to kill him, okay? Let's just move on. In Mumbai, I infiltrated the stage crew of Dawood Rangan, where I encouraged his director to use a script that would make use of a giant industrial fan. After tampering with its security system, I was able to override the limiter on its max power. Then it was just a matter of waiting for Dawood to be alone on the platform and upping the power. Wow, I don't know about you all, but his performance really blew me away. Fuck you. In the warehouse, I waited until Vanya Shah took a moment alone in her hot spring to make my move. As she relaxed, I overrode the pressure lock on her water heater, then quickly put some distance between us. With all that building heat, it was only a matter of time before things got explosive. After quite a bit of legwork, I was able to identify Wazir Kale as the Maelstrom. However, as getting him alone proved to be tricky, I decided I had to go for a less personal accident to get rid of him. Tampering with the valve on a local food cart, I jerked him around for a while until... So we had a little collateral damage on that one, but a win is a win, brother. In Whittleton Creek, I gave Nolan Cassidy and his very clingy guard a house tour. Though I was worried about separating them at first, Nolan took the initiative and dismissed his guard when checking at the bunker. Then it was just a matter of flipping the switch and letting the automated security do its job.
No, don't turn it back on!
In another off-camera setup, I loosened the valve on Janice's personal oxygen tank and replaced the empty cigarettes in his office. Taking the bait, he fell prey to the exact same mistake as Yuki Yamazaki. On the Isle of Seagal, I infiltrated the Ark Society with the intent of taking down evil twins Zoe and Sophia Washington. Beginning with Zoe, I sabotaged the hydraulics on a symbolic pyre she intended to stand within. Then, as the master of ceremonies, I lit the statue with Zoe inside. Yee, ouch. Her sister Sophia met a much tamer death, as I merely had to wait until she let her guard down and give her a slight push. With that, I had destroyed the Ark Society and completed Hitman 2. Though the main game had more DLC side missions, that was all I had access to with Xbox Game Pass, which meant it was time to move on to the final game. The first mission of Hitman 3 led me to the top floor of a tower in Dubai, where I was presented a rare opportunity for a
double kill.
After luring both Carl Ingram and Marcus Stuyvesant into the safe room, my partner Lucas Gray distracted them with a TV broadcast. Then all I had to do was take out the chandelier above them and let gravity do the work. Moving on to Dartmoor, I infiltrated the Thornbridge Manor as a photographer, where I gathered the family for one final portrait. After creating a small leak in the fountain, I had Alexa Carlisle position her chair just right, so the electricity from the camera going off spelled her doom. Everyone say electrocution! The third mission of Hitman 3 was by far the hardest, as I had to come up with 5 different accident kills for 5 different ICA agents scattered across the map. But with clever thinking and a lot of patience, I made it happen. The first agent was the easiest, as I saw this lonely agent vibing at the edge of the dance floor. All it took was a little nudge to get him confident enough to take center stage. I managed to distract the second agent outside with the lights from some construction equipment, and quickly slammed the release valve on a nearby crane to deliver a swift death by falling concrete. I found a third agent walking around near some bikes, so after springing a gas leak, I, gently encouraged a little spark in the area. The fourth agent managing the wheat farm was weirdly perceptive, and it took me quite a few tries to get my timing right on his kill. But by stripping some ground wires and activating a nearby hose, I was able to catch him right where I wanted him. The final agent was manning a sniper tower over the club, and kept a drink on the table beside him to pass the night. After slipping in some emetic poison, he emptied the contents of his drink over the side of the balcony, and I encouraged him to follow suit. Moving on to Shangxing, I signed up to be a test subject in Hush's mind control experiment. After knocking out the scientist insisting he play it safe, I let him burn himself out trying to enter my mind palace. Welcome to my twisted mind, motherfucker! Infiltrating the secret ICA facility, I used the director's terminal to fire key staff members who had shut down systems on their way out of the office. Imogen Royce, my next target, just so happened to be walking through the core room when one of the employees ran routine maintenance, and after another, disabled the emergency shutoff. Tough break, Imogen, but, accidents happen. Making my way to Mendoza, I was able to execute my favorite mechanical-based accident kill. Tagging along for the vineyard tour, I convinced Tamara Vidal to stand inside a grape presser to feel how the grapes felt as part of the winemaking process. Then I gave her the 4D experience when I crushed her like a grape. Throwing on a guard outfit, I lured Don Archibald Yates to a small villa, where I unceremoniously dropped a chandelier on him. Deserved. And just like that, I was in the Carpathia Mountains for one final accident kill against the final target of the game, Arthur Edwards. Unlike every other target in this game, Edwards doesn't move or run away or resist being killed at all, really. But as you confront him inside a train, he also wasn't near any of the normal things I would use to accident kill someone, like a ledge or a falling object or any machines I could hot wire. So I had to get creative. After surveying the room for a while, I tried dropping a fire extinguisher near him and shooting it for an explosion kill. However, all it did was knock him out. Though initially frustrated, I noticed some unfrosted train windows and I figured I could push out his body for another falling kill. Dragging him over, I dumped his body and nabbed the final accident kill of the trilogy. Overall, I had a lot of fun with this challenge. Going for accident kills pushed me to gather a lot more tools, try out more disguises, and pay much closer attention to the environment than I would have in a normal playthrough. Since I had to be picky about the methods of murder, I also felt like I had more creative direction in each mission, as I was the one setting up traps and leading targets to their doom rather than following mission stories. This playthrough also taught me who I should truly fear the most if I'm ever to be assassinated. Because it's not a guy with a gun or a garrote lurking around the corner, it's Repairman. I kind of grazed over it in the kill reviews, but every single assassination involved a screwdriver, a crowbar, a wrench, or all three. I don't know about y'all, but next time I see a bald guy with a repair kit walking my way, I'm running. Fast. Anyway, that's all from me. Thanks for the love on my last challenge video. I hope you guys like this one as well. Drop a like and a follow if you want to see more stuff like this. Otherwise, I'll see you around. This is Fire signing out. Bye-bye!